Hello, and today I'm going to show you how to make a nappy cake. For this you'll need roughly 80 to 90 first or second size nappies, a toy to go on the top of the cake, some clothes, toys and toiletries for the baby to go in and on the outsides of the cake, 3 meters of your chosen colour of ribbon and 3 meters of cellophane clear. You can get this from your local florist. You'll also need a pair of scissors and some sellotape. For the top tier of your cake, you'll need roughly 7 to 10 nappies depending on the size of your toy for the top. For this, you start by opening the nappy up and rolling them individually. Each nappy needs to be the same size. Wrap the elastic band around it so it stays rolled. Continue to do this through all of them. Place them all together around the elastic. For the top tier I've also got a bib, and I'm going to roll this up like I have the nappies so that it can go in the middle of the cake. Make sure it's the same height, so measure it so you can see that it's too high. Roll it on and place this in the middle of your cake. Like so. For the middle tier, you'll need to make again the 7 to 10 circle of nappies, and this will be the base of your middle tier, and then again you will need 15 more nappies, and these will need to be wrapped round to make the middle layer. So begin rolling them again like you did for the 7, and roll them. And place them in the same elastic so that it makes another layer around the original nappy. As you can see, this is slightly wider than the first tier. The first tier is just a smaller version that we'll see on the top. So there's different variety of gifts for the baby. Then I will place the book inside this one across the middle so it's not seen, so it's like a surprise for when they open it. Just make sure you don't squeeze the nappings and make sure they're all standing up. It won't matter that this is still being shown because you can put it that way, and that will go on the top, and it will be hidden with the vests that go around the edge. The bottom tier of the cake, you will need to make the middle tier again. This is the 15 nappies, and then another 30 to go round it. So I'll begin rolling. And then place them in to make the tier. I've also rolled the remaining 29, so it's easier, and just roll them like you did for the last 2 tiers. And place to decorate your nappy cake. I'm going to start by placing it all together like I have here, and you can stand back from it and see if it looks wonky or you need to adjust the nappies in it. I've already done that, so this looks alright and I'm going to be putting stuff on it, so I will need to change it afterwards. So to start with the bottom layer, take the first 2 off and get some clothes or some vests to place around it. Just turn the 2 vests onto their facing onto the table and place your nappies over them. You'll need to measure to see what looks right, and I normally tuck the vest arms in so they look right. This bit can be slightly tricky, but you just need to put your hand through and feed the vests up, or the baby crown. Remember, if your nappies do move on the outside, you can just adjust them, but make sure that it's quite neatly through. And again, pull both of them up one by one. Like that. Then the first vest you can tuck round first and tuck in to the last 30 nappies, and just make sure it's all tucked in neatly and tightly as well, so that this one can go over perfectly. And then with the second one. You can see the bottom tier is tidy and neat. You can place your second tier on. You can, depending on what you have to put on it, so again, if you have a vest to go on it, you do the same as what you do for the part of the bottom layer. But for me, I have a toy, so I'm going to lay my middle tier slightly back so I can place this over it. And then I'm going to just place him and tuck him into the nappy slightly so you can still see him over the edge, and so his face goes up. Again, you might need to bring your top tier in just to see, see how he will sit nicely on the cake. Now I've put the top tier on, I can see that this all fits fine, and I can place the top teddy on. Like so. He will need some balancing, but if you put the cellophane on, then he will be held in with that, so that's fine. For the ribbon, you'll just need to measure around each tier and then cut to the size that you need. Using cellotape, get a slight bit of cellotape and mark half on the end of the ribbon and half not. Like so. Then tightly pull the ribbon round and stick the end on. So it matches at the back, like so. This will go at the back of the cake, so it doesn't matter. And go back on the top. For the middle layer, again, you'll need to do the same. Cut the ribbon to size, and this is about right. It's trickier to go around the toys. Just make sure all the labels are tucked in still. And again, measure it. Sellotape. I have used slightly thinner ribbon on the top of the top tier just because it's a smaller cake, but you can use the same size ribbon. he's alright. Then make sure the sellotape is at the back of the cake. And again with the last tier. Round. Make sure it's tight and sellotape it. Check, make sure also when you're sellotaping it down that the ribbon is actually all the right way round and not twiddled. And there we go, put the bear back on the top or the toy of your choice and it's ready to have cellophane. Nappy cake. I've also made a blanket and this blanket will be rolled up underneath as part of the nappy cake. I've also placed the cellophane on the table before the blanket and the nappy cake, and then we'll reach up from both sides. It may unroll like it has, but you can always go back in there and roll it back up. I have help with this because it is quite simple to do, but just make sure your teddy can see out the cellophane. Then you get your scissors and your sellotape, and whilst you have help scrunching the top together, take a bit of sellotape that is as wide as that can go the whole way around your cellophane, and wrap the cellophane and the sellotape like so. Then the sides, we'll just need to, well, first of all, make sure that he's sitting right, which he is, and then fold the sides up. And again with sellotape the side. This is a cellophane, and you just adjust the top of how you want it, like it's a big bouquet of flowers. Then you get the ribbon for the top and wrap it round into a big bow. And this might take a few attempts to get it right. And then bring the ribbon, the bow. With your fabric scissors, cut the points of the bow so you don't get the frayed edge. And there we go, he's ready to go to his new owners.